Ajurrumiyyah, lesson number 2. والفعل يعرف بقد والسين وسوف وتاء التأنيث الساكنة. In the last lesson, we saw the different parts of the Arabic sentence consisting of the noun, the verb, and the particle, and we saw the characteristics of the noun. And in this part of the text, the Musannif Rahimahullah, the author, talks about the distinguishing features of the Arabic verb. The word al-fi'l in Arabic is used both for verb and action, verb as a grammatical term and action as any action. Whereas if it's read with a fatha, والفعل, that could mean only action but does not mean a verb. والفعل, the verb, يعرف, is known because with قد always has the meaning of tahqiq. When it is used with the madi, it just is used for tahqiq, meaning emphasis. قد كتم, he has indeed written, he has truly written. When it is used with the mudari, the imperfect verb, it has the meaning of tahqiq with taqlil, meaning قد يكتب, he sometimes writes. والسين, seen is to indicate near future. سيكتب, he will write in the near future. وسوف is used for the distant future. سوف يكتب, he will write in the more distant future. The mudari verb without seen and سوف could also indicate the meaning of the future, since it is the imperfect. Imperfect refers to an incomplete action as opposed to the past tense verb, which refers to a completed action. However, even though the mudari verb can refer both to the imperfect as the present and the imperfect as the future, the primary sense is the present, unless there is contextual clue otherwise. However, when it is used with sin and sawfa, it will only mean the future. وَتَاءِ التَّأْنِيثِ السَّاكِنَةِ, and another distinguishing specific feature of the imperfect of the verb in Arabic is the ta that has a sukun and that is used in the feminine. When we say, for example, Nasarat, she helped in a conflict, right? Nasara means to help in a conflict. Otherwise, just for regular help, Arabs use i'ane. So Nasarat, she helped in a conflict. That ta that is sakin is a distinguishing sign of the Arabic verb, since the ta at the end of an Arabic noun will not be sakin. والحرف, the Arabic particle, ما لا يصلح معه دليل الاسم ولا دليل الفعل. Whereas the Musannif, the author, rahimahullah, defined the features of the Arabic noun and the Arabic verb in positive terms, he will define the harf in terms of negative terms. He simply says the particle is that with which the indication of the noun is not suitable, nor the indication of the verb. The ma we can take as ma al-mawsula, meaning الذي لا يصلح معه دليل الاسم ولا دليل الفعل. باب الإعراب, this is the باب الإعراب. When we have a title, we always try to interpret it as a kalam, as a sentence, since a kalam is, as we saw before, beneficial. Whereas if we have it as just as an ibara that is not kalam, then it would be incomplete. So we will always try to do ta'wil of a title as a full sentence. So we will say هذا باب الإعراب, this is the chapter of i'rab. I'rab means declension. Now, before we go into the text here, it will be useful to give a brief introduction to the concept of declension, and this will be useful not only for learning Arabic, but also understanding other languages as well, since these concepts are used in many languages. So what is declension and what is its use? Now, to many people, this would already be familiar if their native language is not English, but in English, the cases have disappeared except in pronouns. What declension does is it gives, it consists of words in having phonetic indications of their functions in the sentence. What do I mean by that? Now, for example, when we say in English, Zaid knows Amr, the only way we know that Zaid is the subject of that sentence and Amr is the object of that sentence is through the word order. Without the word order of subject, verb, object, we would not know that Zaid is the subject and Amr is the object. Such that if we change the word order, where if we say Amr first and Zaid afterwards, then Amr becomes the subject and Zaid becomes the object. Amr becomes the subject and Zaid becomes the object, as when we say Amr likes Zaid or Amr knows Zaid. Now imagine that this wasn't the case, that somehow there was a phonetic indication that Zaid was the subject and Amr was the object. In that case, the language would be more flexible and the syntax would be less rigid and in a way more poetic, because you would have more flexibility to move the nouns around without changing the meaning of the sentence. Now, this is not possible in English except in pronouns, because English has a very rigid syntax, which in fact makes it easy to learn. Many other languages do have declensions and case endings, such that when you change the word order, you can still preserve the same meaning. So this is the case in Arabic. So if we take the same sentence, Zaydun ya'rifu Amran, here we have a phonetic indication that Zayd is the subject of the sentence, namely the Dhammeh, and we know that the Amr is the object of the sentence because it has the Fatha. Because of this, these phonetic indications of the function of each word in the sentence, we have more flexibility. So unlike in English, we can change the word order around and we would still get the meaning. For example, if we said Amran ya'rifu Zaydun, we would still get the same meaning, although perhaps with a little bit different emphasis that we do not need to go into right now. But or we could say ya'rifu Zaydun Amran. So we have, because we have these case endings, Arabic is much more flexible and from that perspective also more poetic. These case endings as phonetic indications of the functions of the words allow greater flexibility in the syntax, in the word order within the sentence. Right. So this is a brief introduction to the theory or the conceptualization of what declension and case endings are. Again, case endings are those phonetic indications that indicate the grammatical functions, the syntactic functions of the words in the sentences. So now let's return to the method. The Musannif rahimahullah, Ibn Ajurrumiyyah, says al-i'rabu, declension, huwa taghyiru awakhir al-kalimi لاختلاف العوامل الداخلة عليها لفظا أو تقديرا. Declension is the changing of the ending of the words because of the changing or alternation of the governors that come upon them in terms of utterance or in terms of what is assumed. What does the author mean here? So for example, let's take the harf fi and let's take the word al-bayt, which in classical Arabic means a room, so or anywhere you spent the night, from bata yabitu baytan. So if we say fil bayti, the fi as a grammatical agent or governor causes a change at the end of the word bayt, so that bayt, because of the particle that comes upon it, takes the ending, the phonetic sign of its function in the sentence, kesra. So fi is the amil, it is the governor. Al-bayt will be the governed, the ma'amul, and the kesra will be the amal or the i'rab. It will be the case ending that gives us the grammatical function of the word within the sentence. So now, when different sorts of grammatical agents or governors govern words, they will have different case endings, right? So in this case, fi is a genitive particle, as we saw previously, so it will make the word genitive, and the sign of it being genitive will be the kesra. If we say haza baytun, here the word will be bayt will be a khabar, a predicate, and to show that it is the predicate in the sentence, it will take a dammeh. If we say ra'aytu al-bayta, I saw the room, then al-bayt will be mansub in the accusative case, to show that it is the direct object of the verb ra'aytu, I saw. So as you can see in these examples, when we change the grammatical governors, they have different sorts of government, and each one of them can cause a phonetic change at the end of a word. So the examples I gave so far were examples where the change was lafzi, where you could hear the change, as in fil bayti, hadha baytun, ra'aytul bayta. But the change could also be taqdiran, meaning it is assumed. Why would it be assumed? Because there might be some reason why saying the regular sign of that grammatical case might not be possible. What would be such a reason? For example, an elif at the end of a word. When we have an elif at the end of a word, then this will not, since the elif will always want to indicate the same sound, we will not be able to indicate the dammeh or the kesra or the fatha on the elif. Therefore, it will be, the i'rab will be taqdiri, it will be assumed, we will not hear it, right? Yes. So to come back to the definition, so example of this will be asa, for a staff, right? If we say hadha asan, this is a staff, a large stick, then we don't hear the dammeh, but we assume it to be there. If we say min al asa, from the staff, again we don't hear the kesra, but we assume it to be there. And likewise, if we say ra'aytul asa, I saw the staff, right? Here there is no phonetic change because of the elif, but we assume the signs of the grammatical cases to be there. So again, the author said what? Declension is what? The changing of the ending of words because of the alternation of the grammatical governors that come upon them. Alayha, the ha goes back to kelim. Lafzan, this change will either be in terms of utterance, or taqdiran, or the change will be assumed. We can do taqdir of lafzan or taqdiran as maf'ul mutlaq, lufiza lafzan wa quddira taqdiran. Wa aqsamuhu arba'atun, and their types or its types, meaning the types of declension in Arabic, are four: raf'un wa nasbun wa khaftun wa jazmun. Raf'un, now ref in English will have two different translations, although in Arabic there is only one word to refer to both. When a noun is marfu, this will be called the nominative case. When a verb is marfu, an imperfect verb, since past tense verbs, perfect verbs, do not decline but are mabni ala al-fath, this will be called the indicative, right? Again, raf'un, when a noun is marfu, this will be called a nominative, and when it is a verb is marfu, an imperfect verb, this will be indicative. Why do we have two different names in English but only one name in Arabic? Simply because the linguistic concepts in English were not developed based on Arabic. However, in Arabic the grammatical terms were based on Arabic. Now in both the imperfect verb and the noun, when they're marfu, they have the same sign, namely a dammeh, if the verb does not have any pronoun attached to it. So they have the same sign. Because of this, the Arabic grammarians and linguists have given it the same name, even though one of them refers to a verb and the other refers to a noun. In many other languages, the indicative has nothing to do with the nominative case, meaning the indicative form of the verb has nothing to do with nominative case of the noun. So this is why in English they have two different names based upon the different grammatical categorization of verbs and nouns. When nasbun, again, nasbun will also have two different names in English, even though there is one term in Arabic for the same reason. Nasbun, when it refers to a noun in Arabic noun, this will be the accusative case. When it refers to a verb, this will be the subjunctive. Wa khaftun, khaft we saw before. Again, the author is using the Kufan term instead of jar, which is the more common and the Basran term. Again, here we have only one name in English because verbs do not have the genitive case, only nouns have a genitive case. So khaft is the genitive case. Wa jazmun, jazm is used only for verbs, and in English it is the jazm. فللإسماء من ذلك الرفع والنصب والخفض ولا جزم فيها. The fa here is again fa al-fasiha, that answers the question of which of these do the nouns have. So if you ask which of these does the noun have, the response is, and hence we have fa al-fasiha or fa al-mufsiha as an answer for that assumed conditional question. فَلِلْأَسْمَاءِ مِنْ ذَلِكَ, the nouns from that have الرفع, they have the rafa, which is, as we said, for the nouns, the nominative case, والنصب, the accusative case, والخفض, the genitive case, ولا جزم فيها, and there is no jazm for the nouns. فيها, the ha refers to the word esma, and again it is feminine singular because Arabs use the feminine singular to refer to inanimate plural objects or inanimate plural nouns. وَلِيَفْعَالٍ مِنْ ذَلِكَ الرَّفْعُ, and the verbs from that have الرَّفْعُ, the indicative, وَالنَّصْبُ, the subjunctive, وَالْجَسْمُ, the jazm, وَلَا خَفْضَ فِيهَا, and there is no genitive case for the verbs. This is the end of lesson 2. Subhane rabbike rabbil izzeti amma yasifun ve selamun alel murselin velhamdülillahi rabbil alemin.